Welcome to Massive Late Fee. And now your hosts, Mark and Carol.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a great week here. It is July 2nd, 1999. Carol,
It is.
we are about 6 months away from the end of the 90s, Carol.
We are. It's only 5 months away.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, however you want to count it, sure.
That's more than half a year, less than half a year. That's creepy and scary and weird.
Yeah,
Do you think the whole world's going to explode?
probably.
Yeah. That seems to be what people are saying.
No, I doubt it. I will say, though, that the government's watching you, Carol.
What?
Well, maybe not you particularly, but
They should be.
U.S. computers track millions. As part of a new and aggressive effort to track down parents who owe child support, the federal government has created a vast computerized data monitoring system that includes all individuals with new jobs and the names, addresses, social security numbers, and wages of nearly every working adult in the United States.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
Sounds like an invasion of privacy.
Yeah, well, ACL people are up in arms about this, but few people know about the government's computerized data monitoring system, even though it was created through one of the signature acts of Congress in the Clinton administration, the Personal Responsibility and Work Opportunity Reconciliation Act of 1996. I mean, with a scintillating title like that, I don't know why everyone didn't read it. But
Right.
the law that ended the federal guarantee of welfare payments. Officials have not publicized their ability to obtain financial information on every working American because they did not want to alert delinquent spouses to the ability of enforcement workers to seize or freeze financial assets. System is essentially electronic dragnet. I don't know. What do you think?
I
It's
mean,
a lot.
I get that, it's supposed to go to help the children or whatever. But yeah, it's a little aggressive.
I believe the children are our future.
Save the children.
Yeah, it seems like a big overreach.
Yeah.
I worry with the internet becoming more popular now, how, I hadn't thought about it before this article, but how the government could use that to, people have cameras and stuff on there. Could they access the cameras?
They have cameras on what?
The web cameras. Could the government remotely access your camera? It's connected to your computer.
I mean, that's not what they were talking about.
I know. I'm talking about what they could do. If they can do this, what else could they do? That's my point.
Well, now you're scaring me.
Yeah.
Stop it.
All right. I'll stop.
I don't know. Do you think that? Do you think that
I think
they're looking at us?
I think it's. I don't know that. I don't think they're doing that right now. I'm just saying. I think it's possible they could be. They could put cameras everywhere and be like, we've got nothing to hide.
Big Brother's watching.
Exactly. You got it.
Yeah.
Not 1984, but 2004.
Alrighty.
Yep. But speaking of Big Brother watching you, what about watching American Pie? We're going to do that next week.
I'm so excited. It looks really funny.
Warren Zide, who grew up in Southfield, is an American Pie producer. Adam Hertz, formerly of East Grand Rapids, wrote the screenplay.
That's really cool.
Michigan Dudes.
Yay, Michigan.
It says, if you ask screenwriter Adam Hertz, the seed was sown at the University of Michigan. In the mid-'90s, when a drunk friend taunted the film and video studios and communications co-major with the question, why doesn't anybody make great movies like Porky's anymore?
Do you think Porky's is a great movie?
No.
Okay. I've never seen it.
That's insane. So this movie is going to be like Porky's, I guess.
That's kind of scary.
The hype surrounding the raunchy new teen movie is making the writer and producer, both ex-Michiganders, a little nervous.
Huh.
And if you ask producer Warren Zide, who is also Hollywood's top manager of young screenwriters like Hertz, he'll tell you that he and partner Craig Perry had long labored the idea of making a teen comedy that talked to kids on their level. So, I don't know, what do you think? Does this make you more excited or less excited to see this movie?
Well, comparing it to Porky's makes me a lot less excited. But, I mean, I haven't actually seen Porky's, but I heard that it's kind of dumb.
You've never seen it, huh?
Yeah.
You don't need to see Porky's.
Okay, good. I'm always a little afraid to tell you I haven't seen something because then you'll be like, but we must watch it.
No, you're not missing much with Porky's. I mean, Kim Cattrall, makes orgasm noises or whatever. That's one thing, but that's about it.
Well, we got plenty of that in Sex and the City, so
that's true.
She is the slutty one.
Yeah, you're right. We do watch that show. We decided not to make another fucking tape.
Yeah, we can't handle that many shows a week.
We can't make a tape on everything we watch. Sorry, everyone.
Some things have to be just for us.
But speaking of things that are not just for us, Carol, they're for the whole world.
But shouldn't be.
We saw South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. The film version of the TV show, the hit smash on Comedy Central. It's been on for 2 seasons now.
Sure. So it sounds right. I don't even know anymore.
Mm-hmm. Started in 1997.
I mean, I kind of like the show. It's funny.
Yeah, it's a funny show.
Sometimes the show is a little much.
Yeah, occasionally.
This movie was a lot much.
Oh, you think so? Too much for you, huh?
Too much. Too far. Too many times too far.
Wow. Okay. Too much, too far, way too soon.
What did you think?
I thought it was great.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I think one of the most surprising things about it is it's maybe the best original musical in the last, 15 years.
Wow. That's quite the take.
It's got some great, catchy songs in it.
I mean...
Blame Canada.
But what about the...
Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
It is not.
So these guys, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, or Matt Parker and Trey Stone, whichever way it goes. It's Trey Parker and Matt Stone. They must be big musical fans because you have to be... No, you couldn't write this and not be a fan of musicals.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of musicals. I'm a straight man that's a fan of musicals, so we're a rare breed. I believe Matt Parker and Trey Stone, or Trey Parker and Matt Stone, are also heterosexual males. So
who knows? I mean, I really don't care what's going on in their bedroom, but
I don't either. I'm just saying we're a rare breed.
Okay, rare.
So
rare.
I feel I have a connection to them.
Okay,
based on that.
So, the movie said some terrible things, though. Fine, okay, whatever. The music's okay, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
music's okay, all right.
They were saying bad things about God, which I did not enjoy.
Well, so it's interesting to me that completely destroys the movie for you, I guess. There's one character where part of his character is he hates God. Mm-hmm. And that means it's a bad movie then, I guess. Because someone dared to write a character. They're not saying, no one's endorsing his point of view. No one's like, oh yeah, this guy's right. That's not the point of the movie.
I just don't...
It's part of his characteristic is that God is the biggest bitch of all. And so,
I don't like it,
he's
though.
a parody of one of those, freedom fighting Russian French World War II resistance guys.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. It's just like the show for me though. I enjoyed parts of it. It was funny. Mm. I wouldn't say I never want to watch the show.
Sure.
But sometimes the show goes too far, and this movie it turned me off. There was too much swearing and. Yeah, I didn't, and the whole Saddam Hussein and Satan thing.
You didn't like that?
I didn't like it.
You didn't like the affair between Saddam Hussein and Satan?
Or the giant clitoris. I did not find that funny. I found that gross.
That's something right out of the show. There are things. Last week I asked the question, is this movie going to justify its existence? Could this just be another episode of the show? And
it is just a bigger, longer, and uncut episode. Like, it's really,
kind of.
except for the music.
I mean, there's this, and this functions as a standalone thing. You don't need to watch the show to enjoy this, and you don't need to watch this movie, I'm sure, to enjoy the rest of the show. They do a clever bit of like retro fitting at the end of this episode to where like all the consequences are taken away, basically. That's one thing I don't love. There's a conceit at the end of the movie where because Kenny is so great or whatever, such a good sacrificial lamb, Satan's like, "Oh, I will give you one wish," and it's to undo everything that we just saw, basically.
Right.
So that the show can continue. So I didn't love that. I would have them rather just to. I mean, I guess that's kind of the conceit that this is not in continuity with the show.
Sure.
And I don't think you could do what they're doing here in the continuity of the show and have things be okay. Like, it would ruin the show because we literally go to war with Canada and
Right.
and the different characters are killed, and so like Mr. Garrison dies. Like, there's a bunch of shit that happens, right?
But it all gets undone, like you said. So, I mean, it could still be part of the like lore of the show or the continuity of the show because it all gets undone.
But that's what I'm saying. They couldn't not undo it.
Right.
They couldn't do some of the bold things they want to do and have it and like try to continue the show from that point on. It's just, but also at the same time, it's like, how much does continuity really matter? They kill Kenny every single episode, and every single episode he's back with no explanation. So
Yeah,
does
that's
continuity matter that much?
true. I guess not.
So I didn't love that it's like, hey, everything you just watched, guess what? It didn't happen.
But I mean, I wouldn't have enjoyed it ending on that note. Like, it was everything was falling apart and in a terrible place. They're going to just end the movie like that with no, positive resolution.
The movie would have had to been longer to resolve everything that was happening because, and it's only like 81 minutes long. It's like Run Lola Run in that respect.
But it felt longer than that to me. Honestly, like, I don't know about you, but I found it a little boring towards the end, and I was ready for it to be over.
So, yeah, if we're going into things that I didn't love about it, there are some pacing issues with the movie. The movie starts out really, like, it starts out great. It's like, house afire and just jokes are coming left and right, and it's bang, 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 and the premise is set up very easily and nicely. It parallels what's going on with South Park. Terrence and Phillip, their trash TV show in their world, has made a movie, and it's an offensive movie, and kids aren't supposed to see it because it's rated R, just like this movie's rated R. And there's a string of obscenities, and it's all the same stuff, right? And the kids go and see it anyway, and they spread the obscenities like a virus to the rest of the kids until they've all seen the movie and they're all impressionable. So it goes bang, bang, bang like that. But then in the middle, it really drags. Like, it starts to drag a lot in the middle. It picks up a little towards the end, I guess, with the fight, like the war and everything. But it doesn't have as big of an impact as I think they want it to. Like, if you compare it to something like, I'm trying to think, like the Lord of the Rings books, and the last book ends in a big, like, epic, huge fight, right?
Sure.
So, like, if you compare it to something like that, I'm trying to think of a movie that does something like that, and I can't really think of one where there's just a big, like, army
Saving
clashing.
Private Ryan?
No, it's not that. That's a small fight. Like it
Okay.
ends with a big fight, the invasion of Normandy, but then it ends with a small personal battle. This, I think, they wanted it to be this big, epic, like all the characters we love fighting all these Canadian characters, and like this big bloodshed and everything, and it falls flat of that.
I don't know. I feel like, see, like there's just something wrong with my brain because when it comes to battles and stuff, like when I'm reading a book, if there's like a big battle scene, I get so bored.
Yeah.
And like I'm just reading it and I'm barely absorbing it. I can't, okay, just tell me who won. It was the same thing for this fucking cartoon movie. I'm watching this and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm bored. Make it stop. So like you're saying, oh, it picked up with the battle. I feel like it just continued to drag.
Well, I mean, things are happening during the battle,
guess.
and it feels like a lot's not happening during the middle of the movie. Like I said, the beginning of the movie I think is great, and if they could have kept that energy and enthusiasm to the rest of the movie, I think it would have been more successful than it is. And I thought it was decent. Like, I liked it a lot better than you did, but there's a lot that doesn't. There's a lot of just not anything happening, kind of wheel spinning that's happening during the middle of the movie. But to your point, action scenes like that, I equate them to description in a book. I think they're the same things. Like when description's happening in a book, when an author's describing the scene or a person or whatever, not much is happening plot wise. And it's the same thing in a movie. When an action part is happening, not much is happening plot wise. It's just that spectacle. The best books kind of integrate description with the plot. Like they kind of move along together.
Sure.
And it becomes a little more seamless. The best action movies do the same kind of thing. While action's going on, plot developments are happening and stuff like that. It's harder, I think, to do with action. But yeah, to your point, this big action scene at the end, like I said, I think they want it to be this big epic thing, and it really kind of falls flat of that. But I think that is one of the ones where everything just kind of stops for that.
Yeah.
Towards the end is when we get the developments with Satan and everything else. But like humor wise, I think there's a lot of really funny jokes here. One of my favorite ones, like more of like a subtle kind of joke, is Satan's like, all the prophecies of my like rising to earth and taking over are coming true. The fall of an empire, the coming of a comet, and Terrence and Phillip getting killed. It's like two very vague things that happened a bunch of times over thousands of years, and then Terrence and Phillip.
Right.
So I think that is the kind of humor that I think works in this. Is there anything that you liked about it?
Yeah, like you said, the beginning was fine. Like I enjoyed the beginning. I thought it was funny. I don't know. I mean, it's just with the show. I just I never fully enjoyed. It's always just it just rubs me wrong. But it was funny.
So
The "Shut Your Fucking Face, Uncle Fucker" song that got stuck in my head. So
a lot like the show, I think the movie is pretty biting political satire. There's a lot of groups now that say that there's too much filth and violence and sex on TV, and then there are people that stand up for the First Amendment and everything like that. I mean, it's a big issue, a big political issue right now. Mm-hmm. We see it kind of all the time, like at least vaguely in the news. I'm wondering, and that obviously they're doing, that's like kind of their point. But my question is, what do you think the movie's trying to say about those issues? Because I don't 100% know if I know exactly what they're trying to say.
Huh. That is a very good question.
Because I'll lay out the facts for you, and this is what kind of confuses me about it. and I'll lay out the facts for all of you as well. Terrence and Phillip are making a movie, Asses of Fire. They've made this movie. It's clearly, when you watch it, stupid. It's dumb humor. Like, you can't, as an adult, you can't look at this and be like, oh, that's smart, sophisticated humor. It's in the guise of potty humor, but there's something underneath it. Because, I mean, that's kind of what South Park is. It's potty humor, but there's something underneath it. Terrence and Phillip is not South Park. Like,
no.
It's just dumb. So, in one way, we can kind of sympathize with the characters that are like, this is useless trash. Mm-hmm. Why are we allowing our kids to see it? But then the main characters of the movie are standing up for the First Amendment and saying, like, hey, you can't censor, you can't censor them, like, and things like that, right? And like, so they're standing up against that, and you would think maybe they're more like on the personal responsibility side of like, hey, parents should stop their kids from watching it, but their parents didn't stop them from watching this movie. So it's like, our kid's going to see the movies anyway. Like, I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to say. Well,
I think because if you don't, towards the end, the parents are ignoring their children to fight to try to protect their children, and mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think it's more of a personal responsibility. They're saying, pay attention to your kids, and that's what's going to protect them, rather than, rallying against, the movie or whatever.
That's a good interpretation, because if we look at all the things that the parents do throughout the movie, they're in self-service. They're not listening to their kids at any point. Like when they're in the principal's office or the counselor's office or whatever, Mr. Mackey, mm-hmm. and the parents aren't listening. And when they come up and try to talk to, Kyle tries to talk to his mom, she ignores him and says, "Oh, you're grounded, get out of here," and everything. And yeah, that's a good point. So I guess the message is, parents, if you don't want your kids to watch South Park, if you don't want your kids to watch movies like this, you think they're trash, the solution isn't to blame everyone else, to blame Canada, to blame Terrence and Phillip, to, whatever, to start a war over this. It's to blame yourselves, take personal responsibility, and say, be connected with your kids. They do, because they, like, what are you going to do today? And, like, they lie and say they're going to do other stuff. And it's like, if the parents were more involved, they wouldn't fall for these lies.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that I guess we figured it out. We figured out what the message of the movie is. So that's kind of what where they're going with it. So you said you liked the jokes. That's kind of like your favorite part of the movie, huh?
I mean, just the beginning before it got really, bad.
Before they go see Terrence and Phillip, is that when the movie goes downhill to you? When
Pretty much.
They go in the movie theater?
Pretty much.
So the opening song.
No, come on. And I mean, not just...
What about Kenny's death?
What about Kenny's death?
Wasn't that funny to you?
I don't remember. How did he die?
He lit his fart on fire.
No, that was not funny to me. No, of course not.
And then George Clooney tried to save him, but accidentally put a baked potato where his heart was, and then he died.
Yeah, that was stupid. That wasn't funny. Was it funny to you?
It's kind of funny they got George Clooney to do it.
I mean, okay, George Clooney's voice.
George Clowney. Oh! You got him.
George Clooney's voice.
You're in too many comedies, George? We're calling you George Clowney now.
It doesn't make it more funny.
Okay.
It's dumb. See, this is animated dumb humor, just like, Tommy Boy or whatever.
Tommy Boy isn't animated? What are you talking about?
But I'm saying it's like that, but animated.
Do you think if this movie wasn't animated, it would have been rated NC-17 instead of R?
No.
You don't think they would have, with all the swearing and some of the sexual stuff and everything?
No.
So a live action clitoris, like somebody like
there was a giant clitoris. That thing was big. It was like a house.
Yeah, they would have the special effects department would have had to build that.
So I don't think that would make it so that it had to be NC-17.
I don't know. I think you can get away more when you're an animated show than you can if you're a live action.
I mean,
show.
maybe because they showed the penis a couple times.
They did do that, yeah.
Maybe that would change the rating. I don't know.
Satan and Saddam Hussein.
And they wouldn't be able to have Saddam Hussein because, he's...
They couldn't have gotten somebody to look like him.
Well, yeah, I guess. But, I mean, they... Whatever, never mind.
Okay. Anyway, so that's the episode for the week here. I'll tell people where they can find Saddam Hussein.
Not here. You can write us at latefee1994 at AOL.com.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com and share the tapes with your friends.
All right, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.